What's going on, groupies? I got that herb. You know what I'm saying? The tropical tangy. This thing got nice different like lighting sequences. 5 hill on. You can't really see it because that was green. Which greens I think is the highest. And you can change it to different colors and shit. I don't like green. I like red because you can taste it better. It's the lowest temp. That blue's the middle. It says 3G. I think it's 3 grams in here, but either way, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's like shit. It's like 3G. You know. But yeah, I wanted to get on here and talk about a few things. Where do I start? Well, I'm talking about what I was talking about before I left the house to myself. I don't know if y'all know Leah Bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, her videos have been like really trash, and I feel like it's because like she's kind of like the thing about being transgender is it's cool, right? It's almost fascinating to be honest, because of how one expresses their gender and how they present themselves to the world and shit, right? It's just interesting to see how what they see of themselves and what we think of them, right? All that good shit. And see if it matches up. You know, like I'm a woman, and it's like, okay, do you look like a woman though? And you might feel like a woman, so like, you know what I mean? But like, that's what I like about that shit, or whatever the fuck it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm non-binary, and it's like, okay, like, it's cool to fucking like see that type of shit. I think that's what's really. I mean, you know, it's controversy right now. I think it's gonna turn. The controversy is gonna turn into fascination. You know what I'm saying? That's how kind of with freeform dreadlocks. Like people were like, "Oh hell no, you're a druggie, you're a crackhead." But then like now, it's like if you have the freeform dreadlocks, people are gonna be like, "Really, people? Real people are gonna be like, oh wow, what is this shit?" You know what I'm saying? Even though they might still think that shit, like you look like a druggie, you look like crazy. They might not say that necessarily, but they might be like just fascinated with this shit. And so like I noticed that that's really cool, you know. I just realized, is that a bird or something? I don't know what the fuck. I think it's 2 leaves. I don't know what it is. Anyways, so what was I about to say? Yeah, but Leah Bad, her content, her videos have been really bad. I feel like the reason why we first liked Leah Bad and her videos because she was making videos, right? And she was anonymous, basically. You know, no one knew her, and it was like real videos that really helped out, you know, in some words, the gay community or the LGBT community type shit. And I feel like those videos, they were nice. You know, like, oh, how do you know your man's down low and all this shit or whatever the fuck, right? And you're like hearing from a transgender person's perspective, so you're like, oh shit, okay. And she kind of looks very heavily transgender, like she looks transgender. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes she looks like a tranny. Sometimes she don't. She dolls up a little bit, you know. But it's like it's kind of crazy because like then afterwards she kept on going. But the reason why I feel like we stayed in a relationship with her is because it was like she's a black trans woman, dark skinned, young black trans woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why I felt like we stayed with her, is because it was like, oh, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, and she's hot. And she's hot. You know. But for me personally, she be having moments where she like super bad. Like she just like, you know what I'm saying? She's definitely like girlfriend material. You know. And then like sometimes she be on some like, who the fuck is this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is this ugly motherfucker? Like she kinda ugly though. You know? But I find like for me personally, I don't know what it is. I like people that look a little ugly because it makes them look a little normal, a little natural. You know? I don't know how to explain that. And I don't mean just like ugly, like, you know, it'd be weird with it, but just like a little bit something to them. Like for her, I'm not judging her for saying like sometimes she be having like, you know, she having a jaw, you know, her mouth area of her body is very like manly. This area right here, You know, and it's not like she has 5 o'clock shadow or anything. It's just like it's really predominant. You know, square jaw. Is basically what I'm saying. So that's why it's like, oh shit. You know, sometimes you put on makeup and it looks good. Sometimes you don't. And it looks better sometimes. Sometimes you do put on makeup and it looks better. And vice versa. I don't know. It's weird, but. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we stayed, is because she's hot and she's a black trans woman. We just want to, like, be able to talk to a black trans woman. You know what I'm saying? Without all the. Because if you really think about it, like me personally in my life and just in general, it is hard to get access to a black trans woman, like in all reality. You know, first of all, it's hard to get access to a trans woman in general. You'll just see them walking around, this motherfucker. And then. It's like when you finally see them in public, it's like, oh my god. It's like a gazelle or some shit. It's like a legendary Pokemon and shit. Like a Pokemon and shit I watched back in the day. It's like that shit. Like, Entei, oh shit. Like, it's fucking... It's funny, but it's true. It's like, oh shit. But a lot of people want to make the, you know, that rhetoric or that notion or that situation into a... let's pick on the fucking freak or some shit, you know. This brings me, I guess, to I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later when we finish up with Leah. So I mean, I feel like Leah bad. I mean, her content's actually, it's kind of lame. Like, I feel like it lost its flair. Like, a lot of it was just based on blaming her life problems on on being trans, which is really weird. It's really weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, blaming her life problems on being trans to me was like, it's like, essentially that's not what she's doing, but like, you kind of start to figure that's what she's going, you know? That's what she's going in this shit. And don't get me wrong, I can understand, because that's what a majority of girls, you know, situation is. But it's like, it's complicated because you feel like, how can that be, like that's not what I want for my life, you know? And then like, yeah, you know, you might see some women, some trans women, excuse me, being successful, and the majority of them I've seen are just people that went to school, they got a really high paying job, like degree and shit, and like, you know, they use that, you know, their Pell Grant money or college money or just their money in general to at least try to look passable on the outside, you know, whatever they had to do to look passable on the outside. That way they can actually live their life comfortably in that state. And so with Leah, she don't be coming from that perspective, you know what I mean? Like, she comes from a perspective where it's like, you know, how about normalcy and shit. There's no normalcy in her transition. Like, it goes from like, and that gives you, you know, a lot of leeway for the haters to really, you know. But I always said they're always going to speak anyways. But it gives a lot of leeway for the haters to come in and be like, no, because like, I could look at it from that perspective, right, and say like, okay, this is what they would say, like, okay, she literally was a dude who had like sexual problems or some shit, or because of, you know, dealing with her dad or something like that, or maybe because her brother came out as gay, you decided to follow his footsteps to take it even further, and now you're trans, you know what I'm saying? And like, literally just be like on some, you know, I'm a woman now, and then everybody decided was like, man, fuck you, and then because of that, you end up like, you know, working at fucking, you know what I mean, working as a fucking escort. And I feel like she tries to like cover up with excuses like, yeah, you gonna be working at McDonald's or some shit. Yeah, but that's honest money. You're a fucking escort. And so, you know, that also comes into the play of a person's mindset, how they see things. Because, you know, they don't look at it as like, I'm a hoe on the street. They look at it like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I like having sex, so I like have sex for money. You know what I'm saying? And that's essentially what they do and shit. And not just that, like, they like sex. They understand, like, okay, somebody's trying to get off. So even if they're like, don't want to have sex right now, they'll assist somebody in their sexual behavior because they know that people just like have to get off, and they don't mind that you know, idea in their head. that reality with the world, you know. And so that's another thing I feel like, you know, it's like those type of things. Like she doesn't really present a case where I can be like, okay, I can look up to this and like aspire to be like this. It's like, oh no, like you can't be like her. And so really what she's really waiting on to save her is like her fame and shit. And she was talking about this movie she was in, and it's like, bitch, that's a fucking low budget ass, Tubi ass movie or some shit. Like that movie ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The movie, I thought she was in like in a movie, but not a big blockbuster movie, but an actual like movie. And she said it was a documentary, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this documentary has validity. Like it's literally about trans women selling their bodies on the streets and shit because they have to. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck? And I'm like, that's not, and that's you still do now, bitch. You're just an escort. There's no difference really from being a hoe on the street and being an escort. It's the same shit. Like you're not living a real dignified life and shit. It made me realize like why? What person wouldn't want to live a square life? Like really? So I'm like thinking like, nah, she's like got this shit gassed up. She think like she a celebrity type shit. She thinks she like a bad bitch celebrity and shit. She's showing out and function, but like also I think that's just Atlanta, Georgia. I think people are like that over there. They all just want to ball the fuck out and be like, hey, I'm rich. But don't like have any skills, don't know anything, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's just weird, man. Like she's like a lot of her content was her realizing maybe, you know, we're seeing her as a person too, you know, grow, which is a good thing too, right? But I think a lot of her content is just really her just like growing up and realizing that the world doesn't like trans women, and if she gonna really do this shit, she gotta be about that shit. She just knows how to survive it, because I ain't gonna lie, she's in Atlanta and shit, you know what I'm saying? Trans women in Atlanta, like, that to me, that's not being a trans woman. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because she's more like a femboy trans woman. You know what I mean? Because she don't be taking hormones. She don't have her name legally changed. She doesn't have any major surgeries. You get what I'm saying? It's like she really is technically a walking transvestite. And it's like, I'm just saying though, you know? And it's like, I don't think that... It's just crazy. You know, she's a walking transvestite. And here's the fucking thing about it, right? So it's like, because she's a walking transvestite, it's like you can't connect to her on a real transition level, you know. And I'm gonna put this out there for you know, this perspective, you know what I'm saying? But like, her being black, I feel like that's why it's so weird when like people say something about being black and then like throw that shit in there too. That shit made me feel weird now. Like being a black trans woman, I get it, but like at the same time, I'd be thinking like, did that really have anything to do with you going to college and like trying to like, you know, do shit with your life? Like I don't know, and I really don't know. But I feel like you could have just done this shit with your life, you know. But what can I say? So when it comes to Leah, you know what I'm saying, Leah Bad, it's like I like her content sometimes, but I don't like her talking shit. I don't like her like being like, look, they don't give a fuck about you women, so why are y'all hating on us? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot of banter, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this ain't really, you know, it got to the point where it's like, okay, we get it now, like, you know? But she's there for a purpose. She serves a purpose. She's revealing the truths about realities of life and shit. Got to do kind of change your headspace, which brings me, now it's just bringing me to, that I was really been trying to make the video for. So I'm at work, right? And I'm like in the back washing dishes. And then somebody my manager calls me up to the front to take this order because I'm signed in the register in the lobby. So like I go up to the fucking, he moves out the way, and I go up to the I'm walking up to the register, right? It's right in front of me, but just a few, you know, steps back or whatever from me. So then like I look up and it's a whole fucking like trans woman, right? But like you knew that's what was going on, but at the same time, like it was weird because like the motherfucker looked like a whole man in a dress. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to explain, but yeah, like he just looked like a cross dresser. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, fuck no, bro. Like my mom was like, oh hell nah. Not because I didn't want it. You know what I mean? It was just like so many thoughts that are rushing in my head, bro. It's like, fuck. You know, because like I saw, you know, first of all, that day, it's how you smoke the signs, right? That day, like, I literally took a peripheral mirifica pill, you know, estrogen, little fucking herbs and shit. Because that's why I stopped drinking so much. Because I don't like taking hormones or pills or anything like that. You know, it makes sense with alcohol. So, like, you know, taking the estrogen herbs or whatever, right? This herb that's high in estrogen, you know, for transition purposes for my brain, you know, and just my everything, like, right? So, in doing that, it was weird because, like, I did it that morning before I went to work, and then I went to work, and then here I am, and it was just crazy to just be like, man, like, oh my god, a trans woman, and then I already knew I had to figure out things real quick. It was like, okay, obviously, you know what I mean, my manager is a grown ass, over 35-year-old, you know, black man. You got to put that into consideration, and then like, this is like a young, you're like in early 20s. Maybe mid 20s, you know what I mean? Maybe earlier than that, like, you know, 19, 20, 17, who knows? A Hispanic man, you know what I'm saying? Young man, and it was like, he was with his grandmama, short ass grandmama, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? It just threw me the fuck off because I was like, oh shit, trans person in the building and shit. But he's thinking, you know, my manager's thinking like fucking faggots. You know what I'm saying? And so you know how it is. Like, I don't fuck with that shit. Because he told me to take the order. Like, he's like, oh, this all you. And I was like, what the fuck? And I felt so like, bro, it's not even that big serious. Like, I've seen a lot of trans women and trans men in my lifetime. Like, I'm not even gonna front. I ain't gonna lie. Most of it was in Houston. I didn't see any trans people when I was in Austin. Like, I've seen drag queens, I've seen gay motherfuckers, I've seen lesbians. I mean, like, out in the open with this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, two dudes hugging and shit, kissing at a date. Motherfucking women, you know what I'm saying? Kissing up and hanging, you know, on each other and shit. Like, I've seen drag queen, a whole table full of drag queens. You know what I'm saying? I've seen motherfucking trans women riding the bus. You know what I'm saying? I've seen trans women at work. I worked with a trans woman. I'm a coworker. Like, so to me, it's not like, oh shit. It just, I feel that way because it's so divided, bro. It's like, if you fucking, like, engage with the motherfuckers, you feel, you know what I'm saying? You feel like it makes you gay, it makes you part of that shit. You're going to hell. You're all this dumb shit, and I was just like, what the fuck? It started flowing in my head at the time. I'm thinking like, that's when my manager called me up because he like, I ain't fuck with that gay shit. And that nigga like hid from the motherfucker, bro. He did not want to deal with that shit. And I was looking like, and I was like, fuck. I was taking her order and shit, and I was trying to be cordial. Like, it just threw me off, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Because you're thinking, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking, like, you know what happened to me. So I'm just thinking, like, oh shit, is anybody in here that's gonna fucking have a problem? Like, I don't wanna fucking defend this motherfucker, but, like, I don't wanna not defend this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And that's how I was kind of like, I feel like that one meme on Instagram would be like, when the Hispanic girl go up to her black boyfriend is like, with the mic up shit, you know what I'm saying, over it, audio over it, and he's like, you ain't, don't do that. Like, you ain't gotta live here. Or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta live here. And you'll get me in trouble with them. Like, that's how I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, that's what I'm saying. That's what it is. That's what I was thinking and shit, from one person to another and shit. To her, you know, that's like, I kind of had like this psychic mode. It was like, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? You about to get me in trouble and shit. They supposed to know you fucking do this. We could do this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel about a lot of people now, especially like femmes and gay and faggots, and I say faggots, excuse my French, but that's really what it is. Like, when I think about it, like, now my head is like, anytime I see like a guy that's feminine and shit like that, I be thinking like fucking faggots, man. Or just not like that, but just like, why the fuck? That kind of confronted it to me, and I was like thinking like, man, why can't you just act like a man, man? Like, what the fuck? You throwing this shit off, bro. You fucking this shit up right now. Like, you got all these crazy ass niggas out here. Like, what are you doing out here? You know what I'm saying? Like, we in the motherfucking heart of the fucking shit. You out here, motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? It's these Hispanic fucking hoes. They be bolder than motherfucking. They be more bold than black bitches. Hispanic girls and shit. These Hispanic training these bitches and shit. They be on some like, what the fuck? But anyways. But yeah, what fucked me up also was like she still had it, and that was only from like trans perspective. I ain't gonna lie, like the bitch still had hair on her fucking arms, and that made me reminded me because I was thinking like, the first thing I kind of was like, I don't know how to explain that shit. I was just giving it a chance because I first looked up at the grandma because I didn't want to look at her and shit, so I was like, okay, but then like I looked at her because I was like, okay, like who the fuck is ordering this bitch, right? Like, I can help you. Looked at her, like grandma, and I was like, then I did the fucking code. And then I was like, shit. Then I looked up at her and shit, like, you know, I don't know how I was looking, but I was just looking like, kind of like, I think I was looking kind of angry, but nah, it was more like, yeah, like, I can help you. Like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck it, bro. Like, I started giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Just look at her in the eye, and she was like, she was like, oh, this, I was like, all right, cool. And then she gave me a 20, and then I needed to change. So I called my manager up there. I was like, hey, man, we don't need to change. Then he was awesome. I could see him in the corner just like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta go over there. I'm like, man, bro, like, I'm like, these niggas is that. But they come off that way. You can tell when dudes come off, like, homophobic, basically. You know what I mean? I'm using that shit for, whatchamacallit terms, you know what I'm saying? I don't really mean that shit right now. I'm not talking about this for the people that, you know, because like I said before, you know? Like, motherfuckers, it's crazy how our culture can create people that are just like, you know what I'm saying? That are completely like mind deficit. It's just funny, bro. It's just funny how like how easily that shit can be disrupted. And you know, it's crazy to me sometimes. Think about it. How easy that shit could just be like, oh, you do put on a dress today and shit, and now you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Now you know what I mean? Like, I can't look at it. Like, I can't be near it. Like people freak the fuck out. You can tell, and they about to. They're like in shock and shit. That shit like funny as fuck. I wasn't in shock. I was just more like, fuck. Like, bitch, what you doing here? But you can't be up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wasn't trying to be like when I was younger. I was trying to like earn them. You know how white people try to earn like black people's fucking respect by like being all up in their face with the shit, tell you shit, and you be thinking like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to do that shit with trans women and shit. I used to be like, yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Be all extra fucking like mamming them up and shit. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. But then it's like, honestly, you don't fucking know because you don't, and that's what I'm saying. It'd be different, like, if, like, they full femme. She had, like, hair on her arms, and I don't know if that was just, like, a Hispanic chick thing, because I don't know if some Hispanic chicks be having hair on their arms and shit. But I'm looking at that shit, like, but you a whole man with the shit, bro. Like, what the fuck? So that's why I was kind of like, bro, you should have shaved that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna shave your face and look like a girl. You might as well fucking shave your motherfucking arms and legs. What the fuck, bro? That shit, like, freaked me out a little bit, and I was just looking like, what the fuck? You hear than a motherfucker. And I haven't seen that many women nowadays, grown women, even with Hispanic or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, have, like, hair on their arms and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it was all the way to the wrist type shit. I was like, what the fuck? That actually kind of freaked me out. I was just like, whoa, you're fucking hairy as fuck, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of like, I was thinking, how old is this motherfucker, though? I don't know. There's just a lot of things that are on my head. I was just like, what the fuck? But then I handled it professionally and shit. That was a little awkward. I felt a little anxiety and shit because I was like, fuck. And I started fucking getting paranoid. Like, do they think I'm some download nigga shit? Cause I be download now. It's like, I was thinking like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was thinking like, oh, I hope these motherfuckers don't think I'm gay. That's why they fucking said this is all me. And then I hope these niggas don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like homophobic, so homophobic they're crazy. So I also hope, you know what I'm saying, that these niggas don't think that I'm gonna be gay. So I had to tone it down and shit, like dealing with this motherfucker. So I felt like I had to like be like, man, what the fuck, this fucking faggot. I had to come in and pretend that shit just to motherfucking like keep the social circle the same because they don't know, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got. Niggas don't know them. Niggas all don't gay. I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck? It's funny, but it's true though. That's how it is when you're out here in the hood and shit. You like this. It's either you're a feminist fuck, you know what I mean? You're a fucking faggot, you know what I'm saying? Which is basically being like a tranny or some shit. Or you're just down low. And that's usually what that shit is. And down lows are usually just verse or tops, to be honest. And that's how that shit goes in these communities. And that's how it goes in the world, honestly. People don't know you're gay until you're fucking effeminate. Like, if you're not, you usually can be bisexual. So if you're a verse or a top, you probably can be bisexual. But tops, I think tops have it harder to be with women because they're like, they can't relate to women. So they're like doing womanly shit. You know what I'm saying? They romanticize more like dude on dude type shit. That's fucking crazy. You know, it's those niggas. That's why the niggas be like, those niggas that be still gayish and shit. I'm like, yeah, because they don't like to like be with women, bro. Like a femme gay guy, right? Or a fucking, let's say a verse, right? He might like the bottom and shit. He can relate to women a little more because he'll take that effeminate role. You know what I'm saying? But like a fucking top or whatever the fuck, right? A very masculine dude is not gonna want to do that shit. He wants to be with like other men, and that's why it's like he wants to do dude things with other guys. You know, like same thing you gotta do with y'all do and shit, your homies and shit. The funnest shit you remember doing with your homies. That's what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? With you. You know what I'm saying? You know, type shit. And that's why it's like so awkward. You know. You know what I'm saying? Now, even between guys, that's why it's so awkward. Like you can't even fucking like fuck the intimacy. I'm talking about just like in general. Like it just seems weird. Like, a lot of things you can't care for other men. You can't. It's just so weird, bro. You know, you can't care for other men. You can't do shit. It's such a weird shit. You can't do shit. And it's like, it's shit weird, bro. It's weird that fuck that motherfucker say all that shit, but it's the truth. You can't do nothing. And I don't like that shit. It's weird, bro. People make fun of that shit. Like how guys be, he's like eating a fucking hot dog regular, and he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nigga sleeping, and he like put his legs up, his knees up to his chest, and shit, yeah. I'm like, come on, bro, like, y'all making everything gay. It's like, it's not even that shit. That's why I'm like, I don't know if that's like toughness or what. I think it's just like extra. It's just extra. But it's a mindset thing. You know, it's a mindset thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like weird, you know. But anyways, transaction went well. Got his motherfucking name, everything. You know, I got comfortable talking to a motherfucker, so it was like, yeah. I was normal about it. I wasn't like fucking weirded out and shit. I've been weirded out when I seen like trans people and shit in real life. It's because they'll be looking fucked up sometimes. Like it'd be like, damn. And you don't know what to say. And I started realizing that shit too. I was like, man, fucking, like I don't know. My mind just was like, my mind was able to handle that shit more maturely now. That's the best way I can say it, man. Because my mom was thinking like, I guess you can say it was coming up with excuses, but like, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me. It was like, I saw a motherfucker's arm, and the first thing I thought was like, ugh. But I wasn't like when I was younger when I saw this like this little tranny fucking thing or whatever, right? I'm sorry I say a thing, but it was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? She was at work at fucking, Dunkin' Donuts. And me and Trey went there to get some donuts and shit. And this motherfucker, like, was like, bro. Like, it was like, I don't even know what to say. It was like big ass eyes, right? A mustache and shit. With like very manly, like, patches and shit of hair and shit on the face. And like, fucking like, I don't know if it was a wig or just her hair fucking pulled back in a ponytail. The ponytail was all fucked up, and she was all sweaty and shit, and she looked all scared and shit. I was like, what the fuck is going on, right? That shit freaked me the fuck out. And I was like, damn. So that's when I was like, shit. That shit freaked me the fuck out, bro. That shit was weird. Anyways, I was thinking about that shit. That shit was really fucking weird. But it was almost, that's how I know. It's like that's when I also like went on dates and shit like that. Like you think it's just two. Like, a lot of people think it's just two guys hanging out, but then like really it's like that's some gay shit. You don't know it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's what makes it sad. Like, you can't even really have fun anymore. But anyways, fucking yeah. So I saw the hair and I was kind of like, I didn't freak out this time. I was kind of like, oh shit. But then I started thinking like, Hispanic girls don't be having their hair shaved all the time, so they be like, anything maybe this person's just younger and shit. Then I started also thinking like, you know, okay, like. Also, it's trans. You know what I'm saying? People gotta shave. You know what I'm saying? Trans women gotta shave, just like men gotta shave. They just don't fucking do it so often and shit. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's like, it's not like, when you know, It's like, yeah, trans women gotta shave. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, women shave, men shave. It's just trans women fucking shave in between. It's not like they don't shave at all or barely. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I mean, it is what it is, like, so that's kind of how I saw that shit. And I was like, okay, whatever. But that shit was crazy because, I mean, it just threw me off. And I was thinking, man, I haven't seen a trans woman in a long time. And I was like, that's a real life trans person and shit. And I like, damn, it just made me angry to think, like, I have this chance to, like, be around a trans person again. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to be on some, like, oh, hell no. That's the worst feeling in the world and shit. I saw one trans woman when I was in Austin. No, I remember now. It was a black trans woman. She was tall as fuck. She was taller than me. I'm 6'2". She had to be 6'4". That bitch. Oh my god, bro. That shit was sad. Cause we were in the hood too, and I knew I was like, damn, bro, this motherfucker here, bro. It's sad, man. That's why I'm saying Texas is like, I on the subreddit Texas sissies and shit. Like, man, it's crazy, man. Like. It's just the way people here are here so fucking like. It's just crazy sometimes. You think you break in the matrix and you think you're like standing out. You think you're being an individual, but like the world's gonna just like, you know what I'm saying? Like the world's gonna be, fuck you. The world's gonna take so many shots. It's not even funny, bro. And I hate to I'm laughing it off, but it's because of how like ironic it is. But that's just what it is, like, it's so crazy, man. And that's what I'm saying, like, you don't know if you trying to be a 6'4" trans woman, right? Let's keep it real, and you in the ghetto, you black. You don't fucking think that has anything to do with you being a 6'4" fucking man, black man. You think you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn. The world already ingrained in you that you're a threat. And so you just want to be like everybody else growing up. And so like you have taken this role because it makes you realize, because you know in the back of your head, like, it don't matter if I'm 7'8" or whatever, fucking, if I'm a woman, and society will not fucking treat me with such, like, you know what I mean? What's that word I'm looking for? Angst or some shit. You know what I mean? It should be all over you and shit. Just like, if they see you with a big black man, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? If you were wearing a dress or some shit, you know what I mean? Or looking cute, people wouldn't be like fucking up in your fucking face. And so you're probably thinking like maybe you could do drag and shit, and that's gonna get you through it. And then like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what the situation is. I'm just saying like that's how the world gonna have it. And so when you think you're not doing that shit, you just being yourself and shit. This is true, but people will literally be like, the reason why you have that condition is because of society. And so you don't know whether or not it's because of society, literally, you know what I'm saying? Because that's your circumstances, or that's just you, you know what I'm saying, in society. And so the thing is, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so when people are saying, what's this new shit? It's like, okay, like, what I'm saying is the society create trannies that they all the shit they hate about and shit. That's what the whole notion of the shit is. Or are you motherfuckers like, they were like this always. Society never was like able to do this shit, and they're just being themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, it's not what it is. Like, as I mature morally, I realize like that's not really what it is. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's the truth. Like gay people and trans people have always been here in the world, but it's like in this society, in this culture, it doesn't allow that shit. And so like that's the reason why it's so like, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? in these times, so we come up with new terms and shit. And these motherfuckers is like saying some new shit, and it's new because we have to integrate it in our culture, and that's the fucking problem. That's why I didn't want to say anything, because I was like, I feel like I was stirring the fuck up out of people and mamming the fuck out of people afterwards and shit. So I was like, I didn't want to fucking say sir and shit. It's funny though, you know. There's some dude on the internet on Instagram. He wears a wig and a beard and everything, and he's just like, "I'm a woman." He's like, you know, it's this other lady. She's like super short. He's like super tall. She's like, "You're a whole man, though." That shit's funny as fuck, bro. I find that shit really hilarious. Man, a lot of child predators here in Houston. But then I started thinking, like, she actually really kind of cute though. Like, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know. I feel like the more homophobic people are, to me personally, I feel like the more gay they are. And that's just, I know that's a superstition that we have and shit. But like, I personally feel that way because I feel like it's like, I know it's like to people culturally it doesn't make some sense, right? Because we've established what gay culture is and what gay niggas are. But the thing I see, I feel like, is it's like gay people. Okay, I feel like when it comes to trans people, we haven't really solidified that yet. You know, and I think because there's more gay people than there is trans people. You know, and then we also know that heterosexuals have a propensity to be homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't even really matter to me. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at that shit like sexuality is fluid. Not like, okay, you know, this is healthy and this is unhealthy, and then you die. You know, I'm looking at it from more like this is just the different varieties of the way we can do things. But I think that's really what it comes down. And when it comes to sexuality, though, not procreation. And so like that's why I feel like it's just different. You know, putting ourselves in this situation. You know, I just feel like, you know, when it comes down to that culture, it's like I couldn't even say like sir or ma'am, and I realized that shit, and I was like, I don't know why. I know it's how they identify it, so that's why it's kind of like it gives you that type of mentality where you realize that shit. You know, you really don't know how they identify. You really don't know what the fuck to say. It's like kind of awkward. Yeah, I remember that nigga did that shit. My brother's baby mama and her over there. And that nigga fucking Torrance was on some like, hey, y'all wanna smoke a blunt and shit? And I was like, what the fuck? I remember thinking like, bro, that's my brother's baby mama and shit. I know she be smoking weed and shit. I'm like, damn, bro. That's like bold as fuck, bro, just to say that shit out loud, though. That's what I'm saying. And she was like, yeah, yeah, let's go. And I said, yeah, but like, it wasn't like a yeah, yeah. It was like, shit. You niggas took that shit to fucking heart, though. I was like, what the fuck? I was thinking like, what the fuck, bro? You all been do business with that shit. That's what I'm saying. That's how I still smoke a lot of weed and shit. My niggas were the ones that were like, all up out there, like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? You smoke weed, bro? Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Let me fucking get some weed and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, like, that's why my dealers, they fucking love the fuck out of me because I'm loyal, bro. I'm loyal as fuck. As a customer, you know what I'm saying? Because I will fucking, like, fuck with the fuck. I like routine, so I'll do the same motherfuckers all the time. That's basically how I am, bro. That's why it's like, I That's why I'm not good at games because like I have to have sex. When I actually into having sex with somebody and shit, I want to have sex with that one person and I want to enjoy that shit every time. So I want to like, it's sort of, I want to be in love with them, right? So to speak. I used to think I wanted to be in love with them, but if you're not in love with them, the more partners you actually have. That's just what the truth is. Let's keep it factual. If you're not having sex for love and love and sex and shit like that, you're probably gonna have more fucking partners and shit. That's what that shit is. You're probably gonna have more partners, and those partners are not gonna be, people that you're gonna remember and shit. You're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, it did happen that time. It's not like going to back of your memory. You're not gonna fucking remember. And it's just like at that point, it's like I don't want to not remember that shit type shit, or at least like having them in your life would be a good thing. It's just the problem with that shit is like it becomes like a sex routine, and then you realize I just need the sex, and I don't need the routine. But it's just, I mean, honestly, I feel like something like sex really is better when you keep on practicing that shit with like, you know what I mean, with the same person and shit, because they know what they like and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really know, honestly. It is what it is. But I just feel like being with somebody you love is a little more, so to speak. I realize I don't need that shit, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that like allows you to just be like, all right, like, you know what I mean? You learn motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can be more fucking like that, and present it that way and that way. It's just surviving with motherfuckers. That's what people don't want to do right now. That's why marriage is like pulled off now. You know, till you're later and shit. It's because like, you know, people don't want to survive. They just want like a sexual partner and shit for the most part. They don't want to survive with each other. You know what I'm saying? So we're taught to be independent, but so like when we come together, like we don't know how to think because we're not realizing what we're actually doing and shit. We tried to fucking incorporate marriage into our culture, and our culture doesn't allow that shit. You know what I mean? So all that's just like extra endeavors and shit. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it on that level, so that's why I'm like shit. I don't know when the thing's gonna cut off, so we don't keep on riding until it cuts off. We're hitting this one because it's sativa. It's hitting pretty good. I like it. It's a good, wake and bake. Get me up in the morning. The only thing I don't want to hit Delta 8 anymore. I don't know why. I think because I feel like it made me fatter because I had so much of the munchies, and at the same time, like they're just too close to CBD. Or like I'd rather just have like a full THCA cart, freaking me, knocked out. Maybe even HHC. I do like HHC too. But like I don't like what's the other shit? The THCP. I want to keep it clean. I want to keep it like one cannabinoid. Or just THCA. I don't like this mixture carts and shit. That shit is like weird to me. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I be hitting, but sometimes I'm like, nah. I feel like it's a way to just like use less better product. So I'm like, I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, so I feel like it's about shit, Like I couldn't even say like sir or ma'am to the motherfucker, and I felt like, well, they're they, so I just like let it go. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? I felt so weird about that shit. And I was like, damn, bro. Like, I feel like I was, like, not acknowledging her, but I wasn't, like, trying to not acknowledge her. So it was weird, I didn't know what to fucking say to them. And so I was like, fuck it. Like, I just like, alright, here you go. But I felt like, at least I wasn't, like, I had to get my grip. I started smiling at the end and shit, like, you try to give a smile, you try to fucking play it off, you know what I mean? That's why I was like, what the fuck? It got quiet for a second there because I was thinking, like, fuck. You know what I mean? I was thinking, like, fuck, what am I supposed to do right now and shit, I was like, my head was down like that, like, I'm just like, fuck. But she knew that, like, I was a little more, like, queer because I had my glasses and shit. You know what I mean? I realize why everybody's like looking at me like I'm fucking like weird and shit because they like see the glasses. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get some like more inconspicuous, regular looking glasses with some like square shit, and mostly very manly ass shit. So I don't look like a little too fucking weird out here. You know what I mean? 'Cause right now I look very queer, like very like, you know what I mean? Like that nigga got money, bro. That nigga a rich ass nigga, bro. That nigga like, you know what I mean? That's how they looking at me over here. Like that nigga one of them fucking like model it ass niggas. Like people think these glasses are very modelly and like, you know, it's on my face. So I try to look like a nerd, but I realize I can't hide my face, and I'm attractive male. You know what I'm saying? I just am. In the face, I'm cute. You know what I mean? Cute and handsome. And it's some situations. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, shit. I'm gonna give you a second pair, but I'm gonna save up for that shit. Maybe like next year or some shit, you know? Because that shit's expensive. Well, I'm thinking probably like by February, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. If they give me a better job, but that's what I'm working on right now. And I think the way the economy is working right now is the best thing you can do is put your money into things that are actually gonna benefit you, like in the long run right now. So anything that has longevity. You know, we're rewriting the system right now, so that's what's really important right now. It's really hard to tell because everything is in the digital aspect now, so it's like we don't really know exactly what that means. Like you could say things that are staple, you know what I'm saying, like you know, having residency, things like that, you know what I'm saying? But like owning land and shit, you know what I'm saying? Having the whole shabam, you know, farm with the motherfucking horses and pigs and chickens in the garden, you know, but it's like, that's a lot right now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got that shit. And so it's just like, I don't know, you're trying to figure out like, it's just the way for you to go and shit. And it's like, I don't see nothing there. All I see is like, the same old, same old. But I don't know. I think like maybe just things in general that have longevity. You know, these things have numbers. So the markets for technology and also you know nursing, and nursing goes up by 20%, but it's the easiest industry to get into. And then you have IT, which is going up by 30% for the next 10 years, right? Next 7 to 10 years. So I'm thinking like that's gonna be really good. I'm going into IT, but at the same time, like, is it that easy to get a job in IT? That's the question. You know, because then it makes you wonder, like, you know, because I'm just trying to get a job in IT, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and so that's what my dad was like, maybe you should do nursing because it's easy to get in there. And I'm just like, I don't want to do nursing. And I'm thinking like, alright, I'll do the nursing just so I can get the fucking like money and shit though. Cause that's like, yeah, I'm like, that's the easiest industry to get into. I'm like, that makes sense. I'm gonna go and get a job in that shit. If they got it for a motherfucker, I'm getting that shit. But the only problem I'm just thinking is like, man, like, shit. I do want to do that IT shit though. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to smoke my weed and shit. And then like, that's why I looked up in this shit. You know, certain jobs you just can't smoke weed, bro. It's in the situation where it's like, no, bro. But IT, you can smoke hella motherfucking weed, bro. Them niggas, they just give a fuck about not sounding hot. You know what I mean? Like I've seen my cousin literally do this shit. That's the reason why. I hung on my homie. He's saying he was crashing at his homie's house because he had no place to stay and shit. You know, and this motherfucker literally was like, alright, bro, we don't smoke this blunt. You know, he asked me to smoke it. And I was like, alright, we're gonna smoke this shit. I came through, and that nigga was also like, well, he picked me up, but like, you know what I'm saying? Came through, and this nigga was sitting on the fucking couch, and he grabbed the laptop, and his little headset and shit was like, hold on, bro, just give me like 30 minutes and shit. Mind you, I was sweaty as fuck, so I took a shower and shit. You know what I'm saying? Came back and shit. I think it was like, alright, bro, I'm all the way done and shit. Just give me a second. And he was just like doing that shit. And then like typing that shit. And then it was like, yeah, I'm done for the day. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, bro. I ain't know what the fuck. He didn't tell me what the fuck it was, but I already knew what it was. Like this nigga doing call centers type shit. He like calling people on laptop and all that shit. I already know. So I'm like, this nigga doing some IT ass shit. And so that motherfucker, that's what I'm saying. That motherfucker did that shit. I was like, what the fuck? That shit is crazy. He just did that shit, and I was like, that's the job I need right there. I've been looking up jobs like that for a while too, like home from jobs and shit. And that's like, that shit kind of hard to find and shit. You know, it's kind of hard to find. You gotta really know how to do that computer type shit. That's something like remote jobs is really where it's at. I'm just like, fuck, bro. You know, I'm thinking like, what we gonna do? You know, it's just weird. Like, what we gonna do, bro? That shit weird. I'm really fucking. Look how high I look. This shit make you fucking high, bro. That's why I like THCA. I was like, THCA is like a little too fucking much, bro. But that CBD was like, really high too. You know what I'm saying? I really want to try that vape card by 3 cheap, but I can't buy that shit for some reason. That shit is just not trying to sign me in. Probably gotta go desktop mode and shit to see if that doesn't work. But yeah, fucking, yeah, it's weird, man. It's really weird. I was like, oh my god, bro. Like, seeing her like that, I was like, damn, man, it makes you jealous too, because you're thinking like, damn, if I was out here doing what I gotta do, I would do that shit. But you can't do that shit, so you just gotta come in like, I got you. And I feel like, I don't know, man, I just feel weird as fuck. I feel like these niggas were like, oh yeah, like, I just feel some type of way when they were like, oh, that's all you. And I was looking like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you rather fucking smile in the face of customers that cuss us out and shit because this motherfucker is a fucking faggot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't give, like, I don't, you know what I mean? That's not really like a threat, you know what I mean? For you to be like that, bro. And that shit was just weird. It's like, it's just complete avoidance, bro. That shit weird, bro. You're like, oh my god, bro, that's so fucking weird. But I was kind of getting those vibes, bro, because, you know, I feel like a lot of gay niggas get those vibes and shit. To be honest, like that shit. Where it's like, you know, man, it's like, you know, he on some like, I don't fuck with that shit. I fuck kill a nigga. Hell nah. And it's not even on that level. He's already on level red and shit. We on level blue and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know. Like, this is a level orange. This is not level red. Like, calm the fuck down. Yeah. You niggas be very avoidant of that shit, type of shit. And in all directions, too. You know, that makes it even more worse. Like, they're very, like, you know, but based off of science and all that shit, we already know them niggas gonna be the first niggas to be like we all run a prison and shit. They'd be the first niggas to be like, that's my ass. That's my ass. They just might not be like giving it away though. They be taking ass and shit. That's how that shit really go. Cause them niggas gonna be like, okay, they gonna use that shit to their advantage. And so that's what I'm saying. So it be them motherfuckers that be the main ones and shit. They be like more reluctant to be like that. You know, but yeah, it's crazy to think like that's how it should be like though. You know, but it's weird in the perspective of the cross-dressers that they're not the ones actually like thinking about that shit. Like, yeah, like we don't be thinking about that shit. We don't like. It's weird, bro. Like when you look at it, you're just trying to like do this, you know what I mean? Do that, enjoy yourself. And these motherfuckers like really look at your fucking clothes and just look at you and be like, hell nah, this person. You know what I mean? Like they classify that shit with like crackheads, like that coming in today was the same thing as motherfucking other fucking white dude with the blue eyes, and the bald head and shit, tattoos off fucking head to toe and shit, coming there speaking some fucking ghetto ass fucking goddamn gibberish I didn't understand and shit. You know what I'm talking about? And then dude was coming at me and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about, bro? You know, he's just like, yeah, you look like a sensible man. You know what I'm saying? Extra fucking tough, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, yeah. I'm just like, yeah. You know what I mean? Because I'm not seeing like, okay, what does he want, bro? You know what I mean? Like, what does he want? Like, you know, if he wants anything, and it's like, this motherfucker's talking. I'm like, okay, he's just starting to talk to me and shit. I'm just like, yeah, bro, I'm not gonna like deny this because I don't want him to fucking freak the fuck out. It's like, calm down, bro. You good, bro? Like, just calm down. You know what I'm saying? That nigga fucking ready to fucking jump behind the counter and shit. The motherfucker starts fucking bullets start flying. That's why that nigga did that shit. Like, I don't know, but it's just like that's the type of characters you get and shit. And so you're like, kind of like this motherfucker came in like, yeah, that was like the height of the day and shit. But it was really awkward, bro. That shit was, and but these niggas, I don't know, some niggas, that shit's annoying, bro. Them niggas like when we were younger and shit, we would be more like, but they still do that shit. It's just quieter though. You know, when we were younger, it was like, oh, look at the fucking faggot and shit. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, as you get older, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers just be like, they might tell somebody that shit. That's why I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I felt like them niggas were like, I don't know, bro. You know, I got my own fucking paranoia. Like, I feel like me associate, me even being around them motherfuckers make niggas think you gay as fuck. And you looking like, bro, like, man, whatever, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, the motherfucker was there with their grandma and shit. Like, yeah, how you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, shit. You can't even motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? You can't even say shit. Like, damn. My family was out there with their grandma and shit. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That's what, like, boondog shit. Oh, hell nah. Y'all niggas gay. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking trainers out there with their grandma and shit. Oh, hell nah. I be busted. Yeah, bro. But yeah, like, bro, you can't be saying that type of shit. Yeah, some shit like that. I don't know, bro. But yeah, man, that's how that shit was like. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about that shit, but even what it was, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just like, I'd be like, damn, bro. I don't really know how to feel about that extra shit. I don't know how I feel about that shit. I don't know, bro. But the motherfucking, yeah, like, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. It's in my Halloween and shit now, but yeah, that shit was crazy. But it was really good to see it on the Transform and shit, you know what I'm saying? Again, just to be like, alright, cool. But you don't see them motherfuckers, and it's like so fucking sad. Like, you really need a strong support group. I don't think I could do that shit by myself. I think I'd have to be like a part of like the gay community type shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I was to do that shit, like, cause it's like I can't be around regular people, bro. At least down here. Hell no, like it's just too much. I think I seen one Hispanic fucking trans woman and shit too. She used to fucking ride the bus. I think she was trans. I think, but hey, who knows? She was like she didn't have no hips and she had like a wide shoulders and a pretty like square jaw. And so I was like, okay, like I might be able to change right there. But she was still beautiful though. But it was just like, what the fuck, you know? I was like, ah man, she out here and shit. See how that shit long that shit lasts. You know what I'm saying? Like this place fucking changes you, bro. And I've seen people there that came here that were on some like when I came from Miami, he was more like carefree, dreads everywhere, just walking places. Now I see him now, it's been like fucking 5 years, and motherfucking home. He always has his dreadlocks completely just covered in like a big ass tan and shit. And then he just like walks around this bitch. Like it's weird how he like, you know, tightened his dreads up and all that shit the first time. And he stopped doing that shit out here. it's funny how that life works like that here. It's like you think like you need to fucking like get your shit together by like being like more appropriate, and then you realize like that's not what it's about. It's about really just like going after the bag here, basically. That's what it comes down to. It's just about going after the bag. And so you're like, well, that's just life in general. And it's weird how you don't really realize that shit because you never really have the freedom. It's like, think about even being born in places that have all this extra freedom, right? It's like you're not gonna know, how to get like grimy and shit, because you're like everybody's expected to like give a fuck about that shit. And then when you're like you're not, it's like you can't get that shit. It's like different. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And so you're like, you have to learn how to like, basically, with more space, with more, space in that category, how to fight harder and shit. So that's why it's like that. I feel like, but at the same time, like, it don't really mean nothing though. At the end of the day, so that's why it's like, if you want to go up, you really gotta level up. You can't just go. You're fighting for the freedom to have shit, but it's like, who cares? Like, if I was in Cali, like, smoking a fucking blunt on public wouldn't mean shit, really. But it's like, you get what I'm saying? There's some situations where it's like, yeah, but at the same time, who are you and why are you there, That's how it is everywhere now, really. Now they legalize weed, so it's like, who are you, where you go, why are you here? And so, with that being said, that's why it's like, you can't just be in that bitch, So now it's about status, and the status for the money, and so that's why you need the money, And so that's why it's like you gotta get the way you live. Sometimes when you're born to a square situation, you gotta end up being square for a while. You need to accommodate, get the bag, get the real money. That's why most trans women in this country, it's not because they're middle age and they lose their hair and all that shit. No, that's because that's what society has created. You know what I mean? That's the notion. Like, we don't live those times anymore at all. So it doesn't even matter. But anyways, very interesting. Yeah. But more and more, I'm getting more into non-binary people type shit. Like, I've been looking at a lot of FFB porn, a lot of like female bodybuilders and shit, and I find them really hot. It's like them and cross-dressers is what I'm into and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, So it's like I have this like obsession with like different things. Like I just like different things, I think that's what like the whole '70s thing was about. Was like being queer, just being fucking psychedelic, being weird, and do what you feel. And it makes you realize sometimes like these people weren't even feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like my grandma's generation wasn't even feeling; they were just following orders the whole time. And it was like it was on your life though. Like that was your fucking life. There was no other life. You didn't know anything else. So it's like it didn't matter to you. But the fact is we know all this shit, but we can't do nothing about it. That's just fucking us up, I feel like they're gonna be like augmented reality and like, I'm saying, some shit virtual reality. Have you like sleeping now? Like first fucking virgin ever to have fucking his virginity taken away. You know what I'm saying? Male to get his virginity taken away by fucking AI. Like it's gonna be weird as fuck, bro. Like I swear, like, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers will be like my lids, motherfuckers will be doing that shit. Like we don't have to be virgins anymore. They made sex robots. Wow. And at first, I thought that shit was like a stupid ass idea when Sandman on MGTOW shit used to talk about that shit. I was like, this motherfucker sound crazy as fuck. Ain't nobody trying to fucking fuck a robot, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking this shit. Oh shit. But now I'm like, nah, they gonna have that shit set up where it's like your brain stimulation is gonna be in that hole for the virtual reality or augmented reality. And you're gonna be like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna be awake though, you're like in your sleep or some shit. Like some Matrix type shit. That's crazy. I seen in the movie, my homie was like, what if they did that shit? And I feel like they could do that shit probably. If they put it in a movie, I feel like they could do that shit. For the most part. He's gonna give it to us for another 10, 15, 20 years. But anyways. I was like, what the fuck? I think it was like, I be telling niggas like 10 to 15 minutes. They be like 10 to 15 minutes. I was like, you know what I mean? Because I always give them niggas time. Like, okay, first of all, you're not to make your pizza. You know what I'm saying? It's motherfucking like, you're in line. You know what I'm saying? We taking orders and putting placements on that shit. And we put a time on that shit, that's what we, alright, cool, but they don't have no time on it though. The problem is, there is no time for that shit. The wait time is basically what's on that shit. And you can't find the wait time. That's what what's the wait time? You told me 20 minutes and shit. The problem is we're not reading the wait time. The wait time is like what's on the board. You know what I'm saying? Like when we go to this shit and it says you need to make this pizza by this time and shit. Like I don't see that shit on there. That's why I don't be knowing this shit, but I know for a fact it take that depending on how many customers we got. If we got like at least fucking some orders in that shit, and that nigga like you go to the fucking shit and you take out pizzas and it's like 10 fucking, not even 10, I would say just like 5 fucking stickers on that page. I don't give a fuck about just 1 pepperonis. You know what I'm saying? And a motherfucker, and you don't see no pizzas coming out, you just wait on the motherfuckers and shit. Like, bro. He's looking at it and that nigga making them hoes. Yeah, somebody called and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get 5 pizzas, how long is that gonna take and shit? It's like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna take some time. I don't even know. Let's say he makes the pizzas all in 5 minutes, right? Tops. You know what I mean? He makes all the pizzas in 5 minutes. And he puts it in the oven, right? Like all them pizzas, all 10 pizzas, like rather 5 fucking people, one pizzas each. And then like motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? If he wants 5 fucking pizzas. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, that's gonna be like at least 15 minutes. Because he's gonna have to make all them pizzas. And so like them niggas come in that hoe and order another pizza and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you be thinking like, how long is that shit gonna take? And you even like, yeah, that's gonna take about at least 15 to 20 minutes, man. And they looking at you like in that time, and they're like 15 to 20 minutes, what the fuck? They freak the fuck out because they want to hear like 10 minutes or they want that shit right then and there. They want like 5 minutes. They want like something simple, but it's like, no, bro, like, you gotta cook them bitches, you know what I'm saying? And when I told them that shit, that's a reasonable fucking time. Like, I remember telling niggas that shit. Cause I remember like when I was like hanging with my friends and shit, and I would tell them, y'all be there about 2:30, right? 2:30 and shit, 2:15, you know what I'm saying? 2:30. And then them niggas were like, oh shit, it's raining. And then them niggas were like, 10:15, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I would never show up because like, you know, whatever, I might show up like late, like 3:30 or some shit. So I be trying to tell them like, yeah, like I'll show up around this time, around these time frames. You know? Like maybe at like 3:30 around that time, you know, walking, take the bus. Yeah, but shit, I don't even know. This is my cutoff, man. Yeah, that's why I be doing that job. That's why somebody was like, is it gonna be 20 or 15 minutes? Like, what the fuck? And I realized that's what they're talking about when they mean like the time. They talking about the actual thing is on the clock. Like, what's the time? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have it made. And that's why they get pissed off. But she won't tell us that shit. She never told us that shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, Princess is like, she don't even tell us shit, like, at all. I was like, it's supposed to be made for that time. I'm like, duh, bitch. I knew that shit. But I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. That's why it's so awkward. It's like I'm trying to come to this motherfucker and just be normal. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers being excellent. Still there. Wow. Guess we'll just keep on talking about it. Yeah. That's what I'm just like, man, I'm ready to fucking go. Like to do all this stupid shit. Just wake up in the morning, what's up, guys? Shit. Or wash my face. Try to eat. What's up, guys? Damn. You know what I'm saying? Be refreshed. That's what I'm saying. You saw how it was? That's because, like, I had the time. Now it's like, gotta take a shower and fucking something weird happening. Who knows? Man. Really high, so I don't know. That A, man, that A just makes you look so stupid. It's crazy. That A makes you look like, oh my god. That's why I don't like talking like THC, honestly. Like, I like some THC, but I don't like looking high. That's the only thing I don't like. I'm gonna keep it real. The only thing I don't like. I look really good. I look like, but I'm not. I'm really showing you. It's really chilling. I'm not even out like, yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm chilling, no. Really chilling. feel. If you can't feel, I think it's just running out. Like, it's weird. Yeah. It was quick and easy. You know, most of these flowers I rather talk about the vapes. I talk about the CBD vapes. The CBD vapes are all it's like THC. That A, as I say, that A is just it's for no reason. You just looking. I like it when you look. That's one thing that scares me to do the most. It's like that shit. Yeah, it was that shit. It scared me the most. Like when I first saw THCA, when I smoked it, and shit back in Austin, and I looked in the mirror, I was like, I was really flipping stone. I was like, I don't like that shit. It didn't match the way I felt. I didn't feel like I was like, I looked like I was like, what the fuck? That shit was weird. That's why I was like, oh man, this is like, I don't think. Had to watch the last few episodes of Our Flag Means Death, you know what I'm saying? On HBO Max. You know, LGBT gay show, you know what I'm saying? It was nice. It was good. I need a break from all the super, you know, because like the way they make that shit seem so weird. It's like, I'm getting married. They think like that shit. Like, I like, you know, like my Flag Means Death and their relationships is kind of like just whatever they feel, you know? Instead of versus like, oh shit, no, we have to be together. We have to be together. Like you really don't, though. Y'all like are sacrificing yourselves for the other person, and that's like what the other person's coming for you. It's like you don't have a Romeo and Juliet situation where y'all both just die. You know what I mean? Like stupid shit, you know. Anyways, I'm not tired of talking now. I'm gonna take a break. What's up, next one?